We have our hymns on as we do. Now just having our hymn and not hymn of each week. We have our hymn, our picks for him of NFL Week 2 as well as not him for Week 2. Alec, I'll start with you as I have my 3 choose this week. Who is your first hymn of Week 2?
Yeah, a popular name in NFL spaces, fantasy football spaces,
Very much so.
Ram spaces, of
Very
course.
much so.
Puka Nacua, the rookie wide receiver, has been absolutely crushing it through the first 2 weeks for the Rams. This past week, he had 15 catches for 147 yards. He's just stepped right into the Cooper Kupp role in this Rams offense in Cooper Kupp's absence, and he's got the most receptions all time for the first 2 career games of any NFL player ever. So he's in rare air right now.
Very much so.
Got more receptions than anyone else in the league right now, too. And he's like on pace for over 2,000 yards currently. I don't know that he stays on that pace. It's a really, really hard thing to keep up there. I think 130 yards a game right now.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it looks legit. Like, it doesn't look like a fluke. Like, you could have said, oh, like one good week, the first week. But 15 catches, 20 targets for Matthew Stafford. Obviously, when Stafford trusts somebody, he clearly keys in on that one player.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has to be him for me this week. A dominant performance and a loss, granted, but he's been very surprising. And it doesn't seem like it's a fluke. It seems like it's going to be the real deal.
Going back to last season, I didn't like when you put guys as him that lost in the game, but for this one, I understand how good Puka looked in that Niners matchup. The Niners are a very stifling defense, one of the best in the league, if not the best.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be quiet for them, kind of.
Yeah, and for him to still do what he did in that game, definitely deserves praise there. So, yeah, definitely like what I'm seeing with him so far. Looking forward to see how this continues. Interested to see how the pairing with him and Cooper Kupp plays out, going beyond that. And, yeah, definitely want to salute him there for his efforts in this last week and just what he's been doing so far the whole season. Yeah, another one, too. Yeah, 2 guys you want to mention for your him of the week this week?
Yeah, more of a, I guess, bittersweet storyline. Shaq Barrett of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, his 2-year-old girl died in a drowning accident, unfortunately, in April of this year. And before the season, he dedicated this season to her. And this past week against the Bears, he had his first career NFL touchdown. So that was a big moment, emotional moment, I'm sure, for him and his family, and just wanted to give a salute to him for that, because that's really sad to hear, but awesome that he was able to do that in her honor.
Yeah, very sorry for his loss, and again, just wishes to that family, and salute to him for how he was able to express that on the field of this last Sunday. So yeah, as you said, salute to him, and continue to hope for success and well wishes for his family going forward there. So yeah, a lot of good stuff there on your end to acknowledge. Some other things on my end. I got 2 as well this week. But first one, again, we always almost forget Thursday nights. But Thursday, we got another grand performance. DeAndre Swift went off against the Vikings. It was 28 carries, 175 yards, and a touchdown. Seemed like he took full control of that backfield, which was a backfield that was supposed to be a backfield by committee over there with Gainwell and Penny. I think Gainwell was out this last week, but they had a few really good running backs in the Eagles' backfield, along with Jalen Hurts, who can move around himself, of course. But DeAndre Swift said, "Give me the ball. I'm going to run the show this week and handle business in grand fashion." So want to salute him this week for what he did. A lot of fantasy folks are looking around like, "Oh, I knew I should have picked him up." We don't know if this will last or not, but for this 1 week for sure, he definitely looked impressive. And I know those that had him were glad, or hopefully they started him and he was in their lineup. So good stuff with him. Another one, I was scared for a while in this game watching it. I almost was going to go the other way because I like the other guy. But Jared Goff lost to the guy I picked this week, Geno Smith. I picked Geno in the game. I was worried for a moment there. It was a shootout as we thought it would be. But Geno in the end, in overtime, was able to seal the deal and get the victory for the Seahawks there, finishing with he went 32 of 41, 328 yards, 2 TDs, and a very impressive game there. I wouldn't say he's fully up to the borderline MVP status that he was playing at last year, but he is still looking good in this offense with a whole arsenal of guys that he can disperse the ball to. And I really enjoyed watching this last weekend and the way he was able to steal that game at the end from the Lions, who the Lions people now have high hopes for and see how potent they could be as well. Him being able to withstand that and get the job done, I thought deserved praise for him this week. So salute to him. I still believe in Goff too. This week, I just happen to
go. Me too. Goff got me some money this week, so definitely salute to him.
I still rock with Goff, but this 1 week rolled with Geno and it paid off. So salute to him in that. And those are our him picks for NFL Week 2. So a lot of good to pay attention to. A lot of other guys that should have been brought up, but these are the guys that stood out to us. We'll talk about him, the standout performances. I definitely thought Geno found a way to separate in the end there. So salute to those guys. Now the fun part on the flip side, not him. Alec, who you got as your not him pick of Week 2?
Yeah, man. It was not a happy ending for Cleveland fans on Monday night. Deshaun.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Deshaun Watson, man. He's not looking right. He's not looking like Houston Texans Deshaun Watson.
He ain't loose, man. He's not loose.
He's short on throws. The pick six, that one wasn't his fault, the very first play of the game, but
sure.
He just hasn't been efficient. I think he was 22 of 40 throwing the balls, barely over 50% completion percentage, 235 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. That's like, it seems like his stat lines have kind of been that for the last last season and the couple games this season. Someone put a tweet out earlier that had like where he has ranked statistically among the top 35 QBs or whatever, and he's like number 32 across the board out of 35.
Not a good look.
It hasn't been good for Deshaun, and it's not looking good for Cleveland, who guaranteed him all that money in order to get him. So I guess hopefully for their sake, he turns into or gets back to what he was with Houston, but he was not him this week.
Not him this week. Also, he didn't realize he touched somebody again. He had the whole ref situation go on where he shoved the ref and then was like, "Oh, I didn't touch the ref. What are you talking about?" So it was just a bad look.
Yeah, I think they said they're investigating it or whatever. So yeah.
Here we go again. So yeah, just another situation for Deshaun. Just wasn't his best performances, and he hasn't really looked himself, as you pointed out, his whole Browns tenure. So we'll see if he ever gets back to that MVP form that we all saw him capable of being. The guy that was, at one point we saw as very deserving of that $295 million or wherever how much that he got. We definitely saw him as a top tier talent. We'll see if he ever gets back to that form, but for right now, he has not been him yet. So yeah. I'm cool with that, and rolling with you there. On the flip side for me, I think we brought him up last week, or it was another conversation, but bringing him up again, I guess we're dogpiling a little bit, but it is what it is. Zach Wilson, yet again, does not look good. I wouldn't even say, like, he's not him, and this one for him this week.
Yeah, this one wasn't fair, though. Yeah,
I wouldn't say it's not fair. This award is more so to Robert Saleh, as I said, trying to continue to invest in Zach Wilson, saying we're going to stick with him all season. He's our guy. Like, bro, we see what he is. He's still a work in progress.
Yeah.
He went up against what many people view as the best dudes in the league right now, that Cowboys squad. And then even with the arsenal he has around him, didn't really stand a chance with what he is currently able to do. And so it was what it was. He had multiple turnovers, and he had 3 picks in that game.
He did.
Just was seeing
I'll say the touchdown pass was nice to Garrett Wilson. It was a tight window throw.
Nice, but that was their one score of the day. It was 10-30. So it's
highlight,
like, all right, cool. But we need a lot more than that. So definitely a tough performance for him. And just to all the folks that are trying to fully believe in Zach, or not fully believe in, because it is good to believe in players, but the ones that are saying, "Oh, there's going to be no difference between Wilson and Rodgers, and the Jets can still be the Super Bowl squad." I've seen a few folks. They're like, "Oh, the Jets will still be just fine. Zach will be learning from Aaron."
We saw this movie last year. No, it's not.
Right. That's my point. So to them, this is more so for y'all. Y'all are not them this week for continuing with the battery and Zach's back like this. So definitely wanted to acknowledge that. And the last one, I got 2. But yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say he's got New England coming up this week, so he might be seeing ghosts like Darnold was
Yeah,
against Bill Belichick in that defense. So
yeah.
it's not looking up at all for New
Not
York. Yeah.
not really. So we will see how that plays out. Definitely a tough thing. Another quarterback that we had high hopes for, many folks had as their MVP pick this year. They thought we saw how he ended last year and thought there was going to be a grand turnaround and thought that in Chicago things were looking good. But Justin Fields right now has not really been putting things together as we hoped. There have been a few times where we've been seeing plays of him have clean pockets, open receivers. The receivers that we already acknowledged haven't been, he hasn't had the best array of pieces to go to. Darnell Mooney started finding his way. Chase Claypool last week didn't look like he even wanted to be there.
You got
This
DJ
week
Moore now, though.
yeah, DJ Moore is there, and he did find DJ Moore at times, but there were quite a few plays as well where Justin looked like he was just completely lost. There was some play calling issues there as well with it, so it's not fully on him, I guess I will say. But even in full, just seeing what we saw on the field, Justin does not look like the top tier talent that folks had believed he would be this season so far. So a tough outing for him. 16 of 29, 211 yards, 1 TD, two picks versus another good defense in the Bucs. So again, going up against another good team, but with him being viewed as a good talent himself, we thought he'd be able to combat that, and he was not able to. So yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge that he still has some ways to go, sadly.
Yeah, it looked rough. That interception, like right on the goal line, where he's trying to set up the screen pass.
They ran that screenplay 3 times in a row. So to the play calling, it's like, bro, what y'all? It's like Shaq Barrett and Levante David, all those guys on that Bucs defense. They can read that and just okay, I'm gonna just go stand over here and wait because they can do the same. So yeah,
you had that, and then like you said, there was clear video of wide open receivers that he's just missing and running into sacks essentially.
Pretty much.
So yeah, it was not a good look. It was hard to defend if you're a Bears fan or a Justin Fields supporter. It was hard to defend.
I've seen a lot of Herbert comparisons in just that. Oh, in the perfect setting scenario, Justin is Tom Brady. That whole type meme. Justin still and Herbert, honestly, though there are maybe some levels to it. Definitely still have some work to do. So we'll see how that all plays out. But yeah, definitely hoping for some improvement from Justin Fields going on this season. He saved my fantasy team in the way last year. I'm sure a lot of folks were hoping that he would continue on that trajectory this year, and again has not quite put it all together. So yeah, we'll see how that plays, but tough so far for him. So those are our him and not him picks for this week. I definitely want to hear who you guys have as your best performers and worst performers of this week. We'll continue going on with this as the season goes along. Excited to see who steps up as this season continues. So